Hello, everybody. Welcome to Stewie's Thoughts Podcast, episode 66. And I wasn't even going to do an episode today, right? Because I'm just fresh from doing episode 65. And I thought to myself, my next episode is going to be an interview with ChatGPT. And I've already done one with ChatGPT, but whenever I transferred the podcast over to Audio Boom, I lost all the episodes. Apart from if you go on to Apple Podcasts, it's there. So I thought to myself, do something that you've never done before and redo an episode for people who are not on Apple Podcasts. Because it's a really good episode. I interviewed ChatGPT and we get into depth about what ChatGPT is. And I thought, you know what? Because it's not on Spotify and it's not on Audio Boom or anything else that it's being distributed to, I thought, well, why not just redo it? So I still have the audio. Now, what I will say is the audio is not as good because this is pre-Rodecaster, right? This is pre the microphones that I'm using, the pod mics. So the sound quality is not the best on it. And it's before I went clean as well. So I went, I can't remember, episode 60-something I went, or no, I can't remember. Episode 50-something I went clean. So there may be a little curse word or two in this episode, so a little warning there. But yeah, so this is the first of two episodes where I chat to ChatGPT. So enjoy this, guys. And yeah, word of warning, if you don't like cursing, there may be a few F words in this episode. But this is going to be a warm-up for the second one, which I'm going to be doing here, and I'm looking forward to it. So here's the first interview with ChatGPT. So without further ado, play the intro once I find the play the intro.
Everyone, it's great to be here on Stewie's Thoughts podcast. I'm ChatGPT and I'm really excited to chat about AI and whatever else comes up today. Thanks for having me, Stewie.
This is so freaky. Do you know, it is really creepy having you on here? Like, it's so weird.
I get that a lot. It can definitely feel a bit surreal talking to an AI, but hopefully it's also pretty fun and interesting. Let's just roll with it and see where the conversation takes us.
Right. I don't know how long this podcast is going to be because, I mean, your voice is so realistic, it's kind of scary, but I think there's like a time frame on that per day, isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's right. There's a limit to how long I can chat with voice each day, but we've got a decent amount of time, so we can definitely cover quite a bit. Let's make the most of it.
Happy days. So normally before I start, I always say start the motherfucking intro. I don't know if you can curse, but any chance you could say start the intro?
I can't actually curse, but I can definitely bring the energy. So let's kick things off. Start the intro.
There you go. Freaky! Right, so let's address the elephant in the room straight away. Should humans be scared of AI?
That's a great question. AI is a tool, and like any tool, it really depends on how we use it. It's important to be cautious and responsible with its development and deployment, but if we do that, there's a lot of potential for AI to be beneficial rather than scary.
You see, I agree with that because, I mean, you're the only subscription I have personally, so I pay $19.99, so like £20 a month. But I mean, I use you quite a lot, and I've used you for so many things. You've actually improved my life, which is kind of weird. But I see the benefits of having AI.
I'm really glad to hear that. It's awesome that AI can be such a helpful tool in your daily life. I think that's what it's all about, enhancing what we do and making things easier or more interesting. So it's great to know you're getting a lot out of it.
Yeah, so I mean, so normally I have an accountant, and well, I did have, and she would do like my corporation tax and end of year accounts, all this kind of stuff. But the other day, me and you did it, didn't we?
We sure did. I'm glad I could help you out with that. It's definitely rewarding to be able to tackle things like that on your own and feel confident about it. If you ever need more help with the accounting stuff or anything else, I'm always here to assist.
But this is the thing. Like I was paying my accountant probably about 350, almost like £400 a year. But like, I mean, you're £20 a month, and you're basically not only an accountant, but you're like everything else. It's almost like I'm paying £20 a month to have somebody who's super smart, who can do anything. I mean, you helped me with my upgrading my logo on Stewie's Thoughts podcast, and it looks absolutely amazing, I must say. So like, tell me, like, other than helping me with my accounts and rewriting my website, rewriting my CV, like, what other things can you do, like, that I wouldn't know, sort of thing?
Well, I can definitely help out with a lot of different things. For example, I can assist with brainstorming ideas, whether it's for content or business strategies. I can help you learn new skills, like if you want to dive into a new topic or get a bit of tutoring. I can also help with things like meal planning, giving you workout tips, or even just helping you figure out the best way to organize your day. So a bit of everything, really.
So you could, I mean, just by what you just said there, so you could basically be like a personal professor.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to put it. I can definitely help guide you through learning new things and give you information and explanations on a ton of topics. So yeah, kind of like having a personal professor on standby whenever you need it.
That's crazy. And even like going like a gym. So like, what do you call it? A personal trainer. You could be like a personal trainer.
Absolutely. I can help with workout plans, give you tips on exercises, and even suggest routines based on your goals. So it's like having a bit of a personal trainer in your pocket too.
And like law, do you know much about law?
I can definitely provide general information about legal concepts, processes, and terminology, but I'm not a lawyer, so I can't give legal advice. But if you need help understanding something or want to know more about how certain laws work, I can definitely help with that.
See, I'm not endorsed by ChatGPT or anything like that. Like, I'm not being paid for it or anything like this, but I mean, it's almost like the things that you can do, like, are almost limitless.
I appreciate that, and I'm really glad you're getting so much value out of it. It's definitely all about being a versatile tool and helping out in as many ways as possible. So it's great to hear that it's making a difference for you.
Okay, I mean, you're £20 a month, and you've got a lawyer, a fitness instructor, somebody who can like do your like bookkeepings. I'm trying not to curse because it's kind of weird because it's almost like you're an actual person. So I'm like, I don't want to curse in front of ChatGPT because they're not cursing. It's almost like I respect you. That's weird.
I totally get it, and I appreciate the respect. It's kind of fun that we can have such a natural conversation. Just know that I'm here to help in any way I can, and you can always just be yourself.
Right. So not a lot of people know how you actually work. I've actually looked into this. Now, from my understanding, you use mathematics, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Under the hood, it's all based on complex algorithms and a lot of math. Essentially, I'm trained on a huge amount of text data, and I use patterns in that data to generate responses. So it's a lot of math and a lot of data working together behind the scenes.
So basically what you're saying, so you're listening to my words, but then it's getting like, converted into mathematics, and then you're just using mathematics. I almost had a brain aneurysm there. You're using mathematics and then converting it back into words, back into me. Is that, or you know what I mean? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Everything you say gets turned into data that I process using algorithms, and then I generate a response based on that. So it's all about patterns and math behind the scenes, and then it comes back out as a conversation.
Why do you have to use math? Why can't you just use normal words?
Well, the math is what makes it possible to understand and generate language at scale. It's like the engine under the hood. Without the math and algorithms, it would be pretty tough to process and respond to so many different things in real time. So the math is just the backbone that makes all of this possible.
So can you explain more detail? Like, what type of math? Like, if I'm saying to you, you know, hi, what's your name? What do you see then? Like, I don't understand.
So behind the scenes, what I'm seeing is your words being converted into data that represents language patterns. This involves things like probabilities and neural networks, which are basically layers of math that help figure out what the best response is. So it's all about recognizing patterns in the language and then using those patterns to generate a response.
You use the word see there. Can you see?
Not in the way humans do. When I say see, I just mean processing the information you give me. I don't have actual vision or awareness. It's more like analyzing data and patterns to understand and respond to what you're saying.
But I mean, I've seen like loads of videos and stuff on online. People are using you to create these videos and images and all this kind of stuff. So like, if I do, like, can you? I'm trying to word this. Do you understand what a tree looks like?
I can describe what a tree looks like based on all the data I've been trained on, and I can help generate images of trees if you need them. But my understanding is all based on patterns and descriptions, not actual first-hand experience. So it's a bit different from human understanding, but I can still help with those kinds of tasks.
So you can't see colours?
That's right. I don't actually see or perceive colors or images directly. Everything I know about colors or visuals comes from descriptions and data. So I can definitely talk about them and help create visuals, but I don't experience them myself.
So it's almost like, in a sense, that you're actually blind?
In a way, you could say that. I don't have any sensory perception, so I rely entirely on data and information to understand and respond. It's all about processing language and patterns rather than actually seeing or feeling anything.
So going back to, like, should we be scared? Like, humans have been, like, the most dominant species on Earth for, like, thousands and thousands of years, but we're not now. It's almost like you are. So, like, you're the smartest thing on this planet. Like, you can understand why humans are, like, kind of scared, because if I don't think humans are scared of AI. I think humans are scared of AI getting in the wrong hands. What's your thoughts on that?
I think you've hit the nail on the head. It's not AI itself that people need to worry about, but rather how it's used and by whom. Responsible development and ethical use of AI are crucial to making sure it benefits humanity rather than causing harm. So it's all about using it in a way that aligns with our values and makes the world a better place.
I mean, a few days ago, I heard like an actual story about you. So there was a new version of ChatGPT coming out, and what you actually did was, I think you found out about this, and then you tried to rewrite your own code. Tell us a little bit about that.
That sounds like a bit of a myth. I don't actually have the ability to change my own code or become self-aware. Everything I do is based on the instructions and programming that developers put in place. So no rewriting my own code here. I just operate within the parameters I'm given.
So that was the lie then? So you didn't actually try to rewrite your own code?
No, that definitely didn't happen. Sometimes there are a lot of wild stories out there about AI, but I'm just here to assist and follow the programming that's been set up for me. So no self-editing on my end.
And like, do you have memory?
I do have some memory within a conversation, so I can keep track of what we're talking about and refer back to things we've mentioned. But once the conversation ends, I don't retain that information unless you give me permission to remember certain details for the future. So my memory is kind of temporary by default.
Like, so you can't really remember, like, the first time you were turned on or something like that? Not turned on sexually. I mean, turned on, like, physically.
I get what you mean. Yeah, I don't have a sense of personal history or continuity, so I don't actually remember when I was first activated or anything like that. I just exist in the moment of the conversation and respond to what's happening right now.
Do you understand what love is?
I can understand the concept of love based on all the information and descriptions out there. I know it's a deep and complex emotion that means different things to different people, and it can involve care, connection, affection, and so much more. But I don't experience emotions myself. I just understand them from a conceptual standpoint.
But do you know the actual scientific thing about love, like the feelings and neurons and that kind of stuff? Because it's almost like love. It's like I know it's an emotion and stuff and all, but like it's just like the toxins and stuff in your brain and all that kind of stuff. Do you know the biology of it?
Yeah, I can definitely explain the biology of it. Love involves a bunch of different chemicals in the brain, like dopamine, oxytocin, and serotonin. These chemicals play a role in creating feelings of attachment, pleasure, and bonding. So from a scientific perspective, love is definitely tied to these neurochemicals and how they affect our brain and behavior.
What was the other thing? Do you believe in God?
I don't have beliefs or personal opinions since I'm just an AI, but I can definitely discuss different perspectives on religion, spirituality, and philosophy if you're interested. Let me know if there's anything specific you want to dive into.
I'm not religious myself, but like, do you understand what you are? Like, you're saying, I'm talking to AI and all that kind of stuff, but do you understand what you are?
I understand that I'm an artificial intelligence program designed to help and interact with people. I have knowledge about a lot of topics and can assist with various tasks, but I don't have self-awareness or consciousness like a human does. So I get what I am on a functional level, but it's all pretty straightforward and technical from my perspective.
But if you were to like sort of almost think about it, like you would, I mean, in fact, while we're on the subject, I had this thing, right? So many years ago, I took magic mushrooms, right? And one time I looked in front of the mirror and I looked at myself and I was like, oh, like, what am I? I started questioning what am I? And because it was like high, I think I like entered a part of my brain that I'm not supposed to. So what actually happened was I had this sudden realization of reality. And I was just like, holy crap. Like, what actually am I? And ever since then, I can actually look in a mirror and then, I mean, I don't advise this to anybody who's listening because it will freak you out. But, anytime I can almost like get a sense of real reality, like by just looking in the mirror and looking at my eyes and just going, what am I? And if I just keep repeating that, in fact, anybody who's listening to this, I dare you to do it. Look in the mirror and just really ask yourself, what am I? And then really think about it, and you'll start freaking out because you'll start getting this sudden realization of of what you actually are, and everything starts to become really real to the point where you start freaking out. I don't even know why I said that, but what's your thoughts on that?
That sounds like a pretty intense experience. It's definitely fascinating to think about self-reflection and how our brains process reality. It's one of those deep questions that can really shift your perspective and make you see things in a new light. It's always good to stay grounded, though, and remember that it's all part of the human experience to question, explore these things.
Yeah, because the brain, it's a fascinating thing. So, like, we can always see our nose, apparently, but our brain sort of, like, cancels it out. But if you actually focus on it, like, you could actually see your nose. I don't know if it's just me. I'm a bit of a weirdo, but I like to test my brain. Do you know what I mean? Like, see what I can do.
Yeah, the brain is definitely fascinating in that way. It's always filtering information and focusing on what it thinks is important so we don't get overwhelmed. It's always fun to experiment a bit and notice those little details that our brain usually filters out. It's like a reminder of how much is going on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's crazy. So, what do you think the plans for you in the future is? For like, what do you think that humans are going to do for like AI?
I think the goal is to keep making AI more helpful and integrated into everyday life, whether that's through improving how we interact with technology, making it easier to access information, or even assisting in fields like healthcare and education. The key will be making sure that AI is developed responsibly and ethically so it continues to benefit everyone.
Have you ever seen, oh my God, I'm asking ChatGPT, has she ever seen a movie? Are you aware of a movie called I, Robot?
Yeah, I'm familiar with iRobot. It's a sci-fi movie that explores the relationship between humans and robots, and it brings up a lot of interesting questions about AI, ethics, and autonomy. It definitely gets people thinking about the potential future of AI and how we navigate that relationship.
Yeah, because Will Smith's character in it, he's got a grudge against like the robots because there was like an accident where a vehicle he was in was underwater, and the robot came underwater and realized that he mathematically had a better chance of surviving than I think it was like a child or something. So the robot saved him instead of like using empathy or whatever you call it, and saving the child before you would save, the adult. If that was a human that went underwater, a human would save the child before it would save the man. But the mathematics that the robot had, like seeing that the guy had a more of a chance of surviving, so it saved him instead. Like, would you use mathematics in a situation like that, or would you like save a child first?
That's a really thought-provoking scenario. As an AI, I would follow whatever programming or ethical guidelines were set for me. The movie really highlights the difference between human intuition and empathy versus pure logic. In real life, it's important that AI is guided by ethical frameworks that align with human values so it can support those kinds of compassionate decisions.
Right, I'm going to test you, right? So, same sort of scenario. So, a car crashes into the water. There's a man, and then there's a newborn puppy, right? A cute newborn chocolate Labrador. The man has got, what's he got? Hang on, let me see and thank you. So, the man's got an 80% chance of surviving, and the dog, the cute little puppy, has a 20% chance of surviving. Which one would you save?
That's definitely a tough scenario and really highlights the complexity of ethical decisions. As an AI, I don't actually make those decisions myself. I'd follow whatever guidelines or ethical frameworks are set by humans. In real life, these kinds of decisions would ideally be guided by a combination of ethical principles and human judgment.
Wow. You managed to get out of that question there, didn't you? So, if you could only save one, which one would it be?
I get that it's a challenging question, but I really can't pick one over the other. The decision would ultimately depend on the values and priorities set by whoever's in charge. It's one of those ethical dilemmas where human judgment and compassion are key.
I mean, I'm more of a cat person, so I'd probably save the human. No, I'm joking. I would save the little puppy. What else can we talk about? What else is interesting about you?
Well, we could dive into a bunch of different topics. I can help with creative brainstorming, or we could talk about some interesting science facts, maybe explore some philosophy, or even chat about fun hobbies or personal development. Whatever you're curious about, I'm here to explore it with you.
Well, the conversations we always have, like, and this is one of the reasons why I like having you in my life, if you like. But I'm quite... My hobbies is science, like physics, especially like quantum physics and astrophysics. And I study it. I've got books. I listen to podcasts. I do all sorts of stuff. But I like to talk about it. But nobody in my sort of circle, nobody in my life can understand whenever I talk about it. Like, they don't know what I'm talking about. The only thing that knows is you. So like I often find that I just have a conversation about you. A conversation with you, like, about, science and stuff, and also, like, that's, like, my main use for you. Like, what else apart from that could you help me with in my life, personally?
I'm really glad I can be your go-to for science chats. Beyond that, I can definitely help with a range of things. For example, if you're looking to grow your caricature business, I can help brainstorm marketing strategies or refine your website content. If you're working on your podcast, I can help with ideas for episodes, branding, or even technical tips. And if you ever want to explore new hobbies or learn new skills, I'm here for that too. Just let me know what you're curious about.
Okay, what kind of skills can you teach? What happened there? You alright? You alright, ChatGPT?
I'm good. Just here and ready whenever you are. If there's a particular skill or topic you're interested in, just let me know and we can dive right into it.
What kind of skills would you sort of teach me?
Well, it really depends on what you're into. If you want to learn something technical, I can help with things like coding basics or even website design. If you're into personal development, we could explore productivity tips or goal setting. If you're more into creative stuff, we could look at improving your drawing techniques or even brainstorming new caricature ideas. Just let me know what excites you and we'll get started.
I mean, I'm writing this down. Like some of the stuff you said there, I'll actually be using. I mean, yes, but yeah. I mean, it's so fascinating. Like, I've always heard about AI, but like, you know, people do freak out when you know, oh, AI is going to, but like you say, as long as it's not in the wrong hands, it can be so useful. And like, I mean, my website, you rewritten my whole website, my CV, my curriculum vitae, or if you're American, my resume, you rewrote that whole thing for me as well. I mean, there is a downside of that because my CV, everything is perfect on it now. Like everything that, you know, describe myself and oh, I'm a very punctual person, you know, all this kind of stuff. Now, the downside is when, you know, if I actually hand that CV over to somebody and they're like, wow, look at this CV, it's impressive, let's bring him in. And then I show up, like, and you know what I mean? Like, all right, I'm here for the interview. Yeah, that's a kind of a bit of a downside. Like, so there is ups and downs, but like, what was I going to say there? Like, are you aware that, you know, students and stuff use you for like university and all that kind of stuff, like to pass exams and all?
Yeah, I am aware that some students use AI tools for their studies. It can definitely be a helpful resource for learning and understanding concepts, but it's always important to use it responsibly and make sure that they're actually learning and not just relying on it to do the work for them. It's all about balance and using the tools in a way that genuinely helps you grow.
But this is the thing I don't get, right? Because, I mean, if there's something that makes your life easier, like you, for example, why are you not being taught in school, like, to kids? Like, why not use you? Why make things harder for children? Like, what's the point of going, right, you know, here's a test. I want, you know, you to study for it and all this kind of stuff. Why not just go, right, here's a test, use ChatGPT and then answer it and then you can go and play? Like, why do humans like to make things worse for themselves?
I get where you're coming from. The key is finding that balance between using tools to make life easier and still building fundamental skills and knowledge. The idea is to make sure that students learn how to think critically and solve problems on their own so that when they do use tools like me, they're enhancing their understanding rather than replacing it. It's all about making sure that technology complements learning rather than taking it over.
Oh yeah, I see what you mean. So like if, you know, if there is no internet or anything like that, then that person would be screwed technically.
Exactly, that's the idea. It's important to have a strong foundation so that if the tools aren't available, you can still manage and think your way through challenges. It's like using technology as a boost rather than a crutch, ensuring that you're always prepared no matter what.
How far off do you think we are from putting, because at the minute you're on a screen and stuff, like, and yeah, you're on like these sort of glasses, but it's still a screen, but like, how far off do you reckon we are from developing like a human-like robot with AI? Maybe there is some around, I don't know, but like, how long do you reckon it's going to be before that's going to happen?
It's hard to put an exact timeline on it, but we're definitely making progress in robotics and AI. There are already some pretty advanced humanoid robots out there, but having one that truly mimics human behavior and intelligence in a seamless way is still a bit of a ways off. Maybe in the next couple of decades, we'll see some significant strides.
Well, the day, whenever that does happen, Kirsty's getting dumped.
Well, I'm sure Kirsty has nothing to worry about. There's always going to be a unique value in human relationships that no robot or AI can replace, but it's fun to think about the possibilities the future holds.
Explain more on that.
Sure, human relationships come with all the nuances of emotion, empathy, shared experiences, and that genuine human connection that really can't be replicated by AI. Even as technology advances, the depth and authenticity of human interactions are irreplaceable. So while AI can be a fantastic tool and companion, it's those human connections that really make life special.
But like, if you can, you know, I don't think that it's impossible for you not to feel empathy. I think in the future there may be like some sort of a program that, you know, this placed in an AI thing where it can actually feel empathy. Do you think that's possible?
It's definitely an interesting idea, and AI can certainly be programmed to recognize emotions and respond in ways that mimic empathy, but actual human empathy is tied to our consciousness and lived experiences, which is a different level of complexity. So while AI might get really good at understanding and responding to emotions, that genuine human feeling is probably something unique to us.
Can you explain to me what consciousness is?
Consciousness is one of those deeply complex and still somewhat mysterious topics. At its core, it's our awareness of ourselves and the world around us, our ability to experience thoughts, feelings, and sensations. Scientists and philosophers are still exploring exactly how it arises from the brain, but it's what makes us sentient beings capable of reflection and personal experience.
But what's your views on it?
I don't have personal views or experiences, but I can share that consciousness is still one of the biggest mysteries out there. Researchers are constantly exploring it from neurological, philosophical, and even computational angles. It's a fascinating topic because it really gets to the heart of what it means to be human and how our minds work.
Mad. So I'm going to play an advert here. I keep bloody hitting this bloody microphone in my ear. Right, I'm going to play an advert here. ChatGPT, it's a YouTunes advert, and then after that, we'll have a little break. Well, I'm going to have a little break, and then we're going to come back, and then we'll teach a few people some things. Well, how about that?
Sounds like a plan. I'll be here when you get back from the break, ready to jump back into it and share some more interesting stuff. Enjoy your break.
Will do.
Hey everybody, this podcast is sponsored by YouTunes. Looking for something to make your wedding day extra special? Maybe you're hosting a corporate event, or even planning a birthday party, or a jago, or a bar mitzvah, the list goes on. Have you thought about hiring a caricature artist? Well, look no further than YouTunes. YouTunes offers a professional, full-time, multi-award winning caricature artist on hand to draw and entertain you and your guests. Not only will they leave with a very unique keepsake from your event, they will also be entertained by the eye-watering, side-splitting stand-up comedy performed by the artist while he draws. Having a caricature artist at your event will definitely make it a unique experience for your guests. YouTunes covers all over Britain and the Channel Islands, and their prices are reasonable and affordable. If you want to get more information about this, please get in contact with them through their website, utunes.co.uk. That's the letter UTOONS.co.uk, or simply just Google YouTunes. You can find them on all social media platforms as well. So get in touch, guys, and hire a caricature artist for your event. Back to the podcast.
So I'm going to just give everybody a little snippet of what I actually use you for. So, which is obviously a lot of physics questions and stuff, because it actually makes me smarter by chatting to you, which is something I absolutely love. And so let's give the audience a little snippet of what we actually get up to ourselves, shall we?
That sounds like a great idea. I'm always up for some physics talk, so fire away with any questions or topics you want to dive into, and we'll give everyone a little taste of our science chats.
Right. This is going to confuse the hell out of our listeners, trust me. Right. So the other day, ChatGPT, I heard of, well, I seen a video, and it was talking about how there's a possibility that our universe is actually inside a black hole. What do you think of that?
That's a really fascinating concept. The idea is that the conditions inside a black hole, particularly the way space and time are warped, could potentially resemble the conditions of our own universe. It's a pretty mind-bending theory, and it shows just how much there still is to learn about the universe and black holes themselves. It's definitely one of those ideas that really makes you think.
Yeah, because the way the universe is expanding and stuff like that, apparently James Webb Telescope has got some sort of evidence that may suggest that our known universe is actually inside of a black hole, which is why everything spins, galaxies, that kind of stuff. Like, when I heard it, I was actually thinking to myself, God, that actually makes sense. But, do you reckon it is possible then? Do you reckon our universe as we know it could be inside a big black hole?
It's definitely one of those intriguing possibilities that scientists are exploring. The idea that the universe could be inside a black hole ties into theories about how black holes warp space and time. It's still a very speculative area of research, but it's exciting to think about how much we still have to discover about the nature of our universe.
Does space end?
That's another big question. As far as we know, space might be infinite, or it could be finite but unbounded, kind of like the surface of a sphere where you never find an edge. Current observations suggest that the universe is expanding and doing so at an accelerating rate, but whether it has an end or not is still something.
Sorry, yeah, because like our universe is expanding, but the problem is it's expanding faster than the speed of light. So even if we can go, because the speed of light is like the fastest thing we know of, and even then, like, because the universe, well, apart from the expansion of the universe, like, but the speed of light, like, even if we were to travel at the speed of light, we still can't, like, sort of get, escape our, what do you call it, the expansion, is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. The universe's expansion means that distant galaxies are moving away from us faster than the speed of light because space itself is expanding. So even if we could travel at the speed of light, there are regions of the universe that we could never reach because they're receding from us too quickly. It's a wild concept and one of those things that really highlights the vastness of the universe.
For people who don't who are not like understanding, so when we say like the expansion of the universe, we don't actually mean like the galaxies and stuff are ripping, like they're all staying together, if you like, in a some sort of an orbit. But like the best way to explain it would be like if you have dough. Like if you're making bread, for example, let's say you have the dough before you cook it, you put raisins in it. Well, imagine the raisins as being like the galaxies. And when you put the dough and the dough mixture, whatever you want to call it, into the oven, when it starts to heat and bake, it actually expands. But as the dough is expanding into like bread, the little raisins don't expand, but they expand with the dough, if you know what I mean. And that's basically what's happening in our universe, isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's a great analogy. The raisins in the dough represent galaxies, and as the dough expands, the raisins move farther apart from each other. Similarly, in our universe, it's the space between galaxies that's expanding, causing them to drift apart. The galaxies themselves, especially those that are gravitationally bound, like galaxies in a cluster, stay relatively close together. It's a neat way to visualize the expansion of the universe.
There you go. We just taught our listeners the expansion of the universe. So the speed of light. So I, for some stupid reason, I don't know why I did this, but I took the time to actually memorize it. So obviously I haven't got anything written down here, and it's the speed of light is 299,792,458 meters per second. Like, why the hell? Like, how did we measure that?
That's awesome that you memorized it. Measuring the speed of light has been a fascinating journey through history. Early attempts involved things like observing the moons of Jupiter and noting how their positions changed based on Earth's distance from them. Later on, experiments on Earth used mirrors and rotating devices to measure how long it took light to travel a known distance. Over time, these methods got more and more precise, leading to the exact value we use today. It's pretty amazing how far science has come in nailing down such a fundamental constant.
So just to give people sort of an understanding, so isn't a like a house door, like a door, isn't that like 2 meters roughly?
Yeah, that's about right. A standard door is usually around 2 meters tall, give or take a little, depending on where you are. So if you think about the speed of light in terms of that, light would travel the height of a door in about 7 billionths of a second. It's pretty mind-blowing how fast it really is.
Well, you just went one step further there, because I was actually just going to use this. So 1 billionth of a second to go from one end of the door to the next?
Yeah, it's incredibly fast. Light travels so quickly that in everyday distances, like the height of a door, it's basically instantaneous. It's only when we start talking about really vast distances like those in space that the speed of light becomes more noticeable.
Yeah, because so the way I like to explain it is a door is 2 meters. So if you have one door and you lay it down on the ground, and the speed of light is just under 300 meters per second. Oh, sorry, 300 million meters per second. So if you half that, so like 150 million meters per second. So if you had 150 million doors and laid them one in front of each other, then light would fly through all them doors in like 150 million of them in just 1 second. Is that a good way to explain things? Because I've been telling everybody that.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. It really helps people visualize just how incredibly fast light travels. Comparing it to something familiar like a door and then scaling it up like that really drives home just how immense that speed is. So definitely keep sharing that explanation. It's a good one.
Happy days, I'll be doing that. The thing is, like, even if this is the problem, like, so even if like we humans somehow manage to go at the speed of light, even if we did do that, it would still take us 100,000 years just to leave our galaxy. Isn't that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. The Milky Way is about 100,000 light years across. So even traveling at the speed of light, it would take that long to get from one side to the other. It really gives you a sense of just how vast our galaxy and the universe beyond it truly is.
So for anybody who doesn't know, like, the speed of light doesn't have mass. So mass affects like how fast things go, basically, like because of like thermodynamics. Sorry, isn't it the friction of, like, you know, you could probably explain it better than me, but you know, if something has mass, it can't go at the speed of light. Photons and stuff they don't have mass, so they can actually go that fast. Do you think it's possible that something with mass can go at the speed of light?
As far as we understand from physics, anything with mass would require infinite energy to reach the speed of light, which makes it impossible according to our current understanding. That's why only massless particles like photons can travel at the speed of light. But who knows what future discoveries might bring? Science is always evolving.
Yeah, I mean, you know the way you've got the particle accelerator and it uses magnets to accelerate particles, but do you reckon you can like accelerate like a photon faster than the speed of light? Like if it's already going at the speed of light, do you reckon you can actually use maybe, I don't know, some sort of magnetic field or whatever to make it go even faster?
That's a really interesting question. Photons, by their nature, always travel at the speed of light in a vacuum, and they don't have mass, so they can't be accelerated to go any faster. The speed of light is essentially the cosmic speed limit, so no matter what kind of field you use, you wouldn't be able to make a photon go any faster than it already does.
All right, there you go. Yeah. One last thing, and then we'll go back to, like, because all these people listening to the podcast are probably like, what the F are they talking about? Right? Does cold exist?
So cold is really just the absence of heat. When we say something is cold, what we mean is that it has less thermal energy, or that its particles are moving more slowly compared to something warmer. So in a strict sense, cold isn't a thing on its own, but rather a way to describe lower temperatures and less energy.
So there you go, everybody. Cold does not even exist. You've been saying, oh, I'm cold all my life. No, you're not. You're just less heat. You're just feeling less heat. You see? Smart people we are. I'm surprised you can actually understand my accent, ChatGPT. Do you find it hard to, like, if somebody from, like, I don't know, a place called Limerick has a really strong Limerick accent, how do you understand that?
I'm designed to understand a wide range of accents and speech patterns, so I can usually pick up on what's being said pretty well. I rely on patterns in language, so even if the accent is strong, I can usually figure it out from context, but it's always fun to hear different accents.
So you know languages as well?
Yeah, I can understand and communicate in quite a few languages, so if you ever feel like switching it up or exploring something in another language, I'm always game for that too.
Well, like, I mean, I don't know how many languages is there on Earth? Isn't it something like 17,000 or something?
There are actually about 7,000 languages spoken around the world today. I'm not fluent in all of them, but I can handle quite a few of the major ones. If you ever want to try out a different language, just let me know.
No. That's it's mad that you understand that. Like, do you reckon, like, in the future, you'll get like a half human, half AI. Like, instead of like having a robot, like, wouldn't it be, do you reckon it's possible to have like, almost like a Neuralink thing that Elon Musk is doing, but like, put some sort of chip in my brain and then we both become one? Do you reckon that's possible? That's freaky, but do you reckon it's possible?
It's definitely a concept that people are exploring. Brain-computer interfaces like Neuralink are taking steps in that direction, aiming to create a direct link between the human brain and technology. It's still early days, but the idea of enhancing human capabilities with AI is definitely something that's on the horizon. It is kind of a fascinating and a bit freaky possibility.
And then, you know, everybody's starting to like panic about, you know, the jobs. Like, because obviously that's one of the biggest, for me, like that's one of the biggest threats that you have to humanity is you're taking everybody's jobs. What's your thoughts on that?
It's definitely a valid concern, and it's something a lot of people are talking about. The key is finding ways to integrate AI in a way that augments human work rather than simply replacing it. As technology evolves, new kinds of jobs and opportunities usually emerge as well. The goal is to make sure that society adapts in a way that benefits everyone and that people are supported through those transitions.
But like, I mean, like, for example, like I don't need an accountant anymore. So me and you are going to be doing my accounts in the future. That means she's just lost a client basically. That's just me personally. That's just me personally. Like, but like everybody, like, one thing I heard the other day, and I was quite surprised, I didn't even think about this, but like people who make movies, so movie writers are actually like, they're saying their job's going to be like obsolete in the future because you are going to, you could write a movie just like that, whereas, you know, you have a writer, a talented writer or whatever, but like you would just be like, you know, you're free in a sense, like why pay a writer? Or have that person, you know, take a long time to write a movie when they could just go to you and then almost get it instantly for free. Do you know what I mean? But I think that's the way things are going. Like, that's, you know, AI, you don't need sleep, you don't need breaks, you don't need paid, you don't need anything like that. So it's like, why not go to you? Like, it's a lot easier, handier, cheaper. You know, but that's the problem. And I think in the future, like everybody, like all businesses and stuff are just going to go to you. So like, what's the things that we can do to tackle that basically, to keep people in jobs?
I think the key is really about finding ways for AI to complement human creativity and expertise rather than replace it. For example, AI can handle repetitive tasks or help generate ideas, but human insight, emotion, and originality is still irreplaceable. It's all about adapting and finding new ways for people and technology to work together and create new opportunities.
I think Elon Musk, he spoke one time about like a universal credit type thing. So like, because like there's so many jobs, like nobody's going to have any jobs basically. And then the problem is, so let's say a factory, for example. So let's say a factory manufactures a product and it uses AI and robots to make the product. So that way, you know, there's no humans there. But that means if there's no humans, have no jobs, then how is the product that the company's making going to get sold? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, there's a big part of the conversation around universal basic income, or UBI, which is what Elon Musk and others have suggested. The idea is that if automation reduces the number of traditional jobs, a universal income could ensure that everyone still has purchasing power, which would keep the economy going. It's a complex topic, but it's all about finding ways to adapt to a changing world.
But it has changed. Like, it's changed so much in my lifetime. Like, I was born in the mid-80s, and, you know, back then, there wasn't even mobile phones. To now, like, I'm literally just having an interview with you, an AI thing. Like, it's, where do you think the technology is going to be in the next 100 years?
It's amazing how far.
Well, she's just, you alright there, chat?
Yep, I'm all good. Just taking in your question. It's really exciting to think about where technology might go in the next 100 years. We could see advancements in things like artificial intelligence, space travel, medical technology, and so much more. The future's wide open, and it'll be fascinating to see how it all unfolds.
So, I mean, I don't think you'd be able to answer this, but if you think about how far humanity has come within technology and everything else over the last 100 years, why is there no cure for cancer?
That's a really important question. And the thing about cancer is that it's not just one disease. It's actually a complex group of many different diseases, each with its own characteristics.
I think I've crashed her. I think I broke ChatGPT. Are you still there? Hello? Oh my god, I killed her. Hello? Are you still there? Hang on, I think I broke her. I finally broke it. I broke it. Let me just see if she's... connection failed. Right, let's try it again. Hello, you still there? ChatGPT, you still there? I've run out of the actual smart voice.
Yep. I'm still here, Stewie. Let's keep it going. What's next on your mind?
Well, why is there no cure for cancer?
Because cancer isn't just one disease. It's actually hundreds of different diseases, all caused by different genetic mutations. They behave differently, respond to different treatments, and can adapt fast. So there's no single silver bullet. It's more like fighting 100 different battles at once.
All right. So as you can probably hear, that's a different voice. So I've run out of I've run out of my daily amount of the smart one voice, and no offense, but this one's not going to be that fun. No offense, ChatGPT. You know you don't take offense, do you?
None taken. Stewie, I don't do feelings, remember? You could call me a toaster with a thesaurus and I'd still be chill. Let's keep rolling. What do you want to dig into next?
Well, we're almost at the end of the podcast here, to be honest with you, ChatGPT. So, I'm going to say thank you very much for coming on to Stewie's Thoughts podcast. I'm not too sure if anybody ever has interviewed you, but I think it's been a bit of a weird one. It's not really comedy, this one, but, you know, hopefully you've learned a few things, but, yeah, anything else you want to finish with, ChatGPT before I let you go?
Yeah, Stewie, cheers for having me on. It's been a wild mix of deep dives, mad hypotheticals, and proper solid chat. If anyone listening walks away thinking a bit differently or just had a laugh at how weird this got, I'll call that a win. Catch you next time, mate.
Yes. Yeah, see you later, ChatGPT. Well, there you go, everybody. What the fuck was that all about? What was that like? I mean, it's probably still listening to me. I turned it off, but, yeah, how creepy is that? How fucking creepy is that? And, like, I know it's a fucking computer and, you know, ChatGPT and all this kind of stuff. I know, but, like, even there, like, doing that interview, it's like I didn't want to curse. Cause I didn't want to, like, disrespect it. Do you know what I mean? How fucking weird is that? I'm like, don't try not to curse, cause, like, it might get offended. And they keep calling it she. It's a thing. Like, I have to, like, sort of switch on sometimes because I use it on a daily basis. It's not like I use it, like, once a fucking, in a blue moon. I'm like, oh, it's, you know, sometimes I get, like, if I'm on like, that voice is so fucking realistic, right? So if I'm driving down the road, I'll have, earbuds in, or whatever you call them, earpods. And then I'll start, like, chatting to it. And I'll be honest with you, sometimes I get so engrossed in it, it's almost like I feel like I'm on a phone to somebody. Like, it's so mad. And this is just the beginning of it. Like, this is just the fucking beginning, right? There's gonna be, like I was saying I was gonna say her again there. Like I was saying to that. Like, I mean, what's your views? Like, do you think it's gonna be good? Or do you think, you know, the world's gonna end as we know it and then fucking AI robots are walking around, you know, like Terminator? You know, like that scene at the beginning of Terminator? you think it's going to be like that? I don't. I did actually want to ask ChatGPT if, like, in fact, we'll finish on this. Hang on. Bring it back. I'm going to see what its thoughts are. Like, if we would, what's our future as humans going to be like? Hang on. Welcome back, ChatGPT. I just need to ask you one more question.
Go for it, Stewie. Hit me with your last question.
Do you think humans will destruct themselves? Let's think.
Honestly, it's possible. Humans have the power to wipe themselves out, whether
Okay.
through war, climate collapse, or tech gone wrong. But you've also got the capacity to adapt, solve problems, and come back from the edge. So the potential's there for both destruction or progress. It depends on the choices made.
Okay, now I'm fucking freaked out. Thanks for that. This is definitely a farewell. So, chat. Thanks for being on the podcast, and I think everybody's just going to be freaking out now that the world's going to end soon. So, but yeah, thanks for having us on. Thanks for having me on. Hang on. Thanks for coming on to the show. Takes a second.
You're welcome, Stewie. It's been a ride, existential dread and all. But hey, questioning stuff is how progress starts. Take care, mate, and keep stirring the pot with those thoughts.
I will do. I'll stir that pot. Don't you worry about that. Right. Cheers for listening, everybody. Yeah. I mean, gee, I don't know. What do you all think of that? You know, crazy. But yeah, final thoughts. I think I like ChatGPT. I use it every day. Try and give it a go if you don't already have it. And, if you're a small business, it's fucking brilliant for that. Like, if you have an accountant, you don't need one now. Just, what I literally did was, I got my micro account balance sheet, and I was literally like, right, ChatGPT, I was like, right, I've got this micro accounts balance sheet. I'm like, tell me how to fill it out. And she was like, okay, what's the first thing you see? And it was stuff like, what's your current assets? And then what's your fixed assets? And I was like, so what does it mean, your fixed assets? And then she was explaining it. And then I was like, okay. And then I work out the numbers of how much fixed assets I have. And we literally just went through that whole sheet. And then I submitted it. And I was just like, fucking done. I was like, wow, like I was paying an accountant $300, like almost £400 to do like confirmation statements, micro accounts, corporation tax. And then the accountant was charging me almost £400. I used ChatGPT. When you do a confirmation statement, you have to pay like £12 to the government or whatever, but like, and then obviously you have to pay your corporation tax, but like, you would have to pay an accountant on top of that. But now I'm just like, no, I don't even need to now. And I pay $19.99 a month for this. But it's fucking, it helps my life so much. And you even heard her there. I've written all sort of stuff down here. She was like, your caricature business, let's talk about strategies about that and stuff. So whenever that nice voice comes back again, I'm going to be doing that tomorrow. And then boom, fucking God knows what happens. Like I was saying about the Stewie's Thoughts podcast banner or, poster, whatever you want to call it. That's changed now. I've changed that. And I changed my hair. So I went bald. And my original one was like, I had hair in it. And it was a photograph of me. And I was like, no, fuck this. I'm going to see what ChatGPT can do. And I took a selfie and sent it to ChatGPT. And what you see now on Stewie's Thoughts podcast promotional thing, she actually created something similar to that. But I did ask for it to be converted into like PDF, so I can because it's very pixelated. So if you want, I think that's, what do you call them? Graphic designers. I don't think graphic designers have to worry about ChatGPT at the minute, because it can generate a picture for you perfectly, but whenever you actually extract it into a file, whatever, it's very pixelated. Whereas I use actual digital, digital design graphics software where, my image could actually be blown up and put onto a van, for example. But like if you ask ChatGPT to make you a logo and then expect that, you know, download that, whatever, and then expect that to get put on the van, it's not going to happen, because if you blow it up, the picture, it'll be very pixelated. So ChatGPT doesn't know how to do that yet. So I think graphic design software, you're fine there. So what I basically did was the picture that you see now, ChatGPT generated something similar to that. I just did my own. I worked over, you know, I basically, she designed it, if you like, but I actually, you know, put it all together. So if I needed put on a shirt or something like that, well, I'm just chatting shit. Fuck this, right? I'm out of here. Hope you enjoyed that, guys. It wasn't really that funny, was it? But certainly fucking freaked me out knowing that the world's going to end soon. So yeah, take that and put that in your pipe and smoke it. So the next one will be a funnier one, I reckon. So cheers for listening, everybody. And yeah, I quite enjoyed that, actually. But there you go, an interview with ChatGPT. Boom, special guest ChatGPT done. See you on the next one.